solutions that give that, but actually provide value for money. It is challenging, it is difficult, and it does require a lot of bravery on behalf of politicians, because it is always difficult doing those big transfers, especially in the time period we had to do it in Milton Keynes. It would have been nice to do it over a longer period of time, but that's not how budgets worked out.
Who takes the risk?
The politicians do.
The local authority rather than the private sector?
Yeah, we get blamed.
Okay.
Yeah, always.
Okay.
Always. You blame your politician, you blame your local councillor, always.
Okay.
But you're also the one that gets the success when it goes well.
Okay. Question here, just going to the Starship great. Tick.
Sorry?
There's a question here that says Starship great.
Yes.
E-scooters, major negatives, blocking redways, wheelchairs, visually impaired, near misses on redways. How does the council improve this for residents?
So it's probably somebody from Milton Keynes. Right. The Starship robot's absolutely fabulous, and they have developed some ideas and technologies about how to not block the redways. The ski scooters are being left in the middle and the cross redways. For those of you that don't know Milton Keynes, we have, from our inception, separated our cycling and walking from our major roads. So we call them red routes, and that tends to be where the e-scooters are. The other thing that we're looking at is the speed limiting technology and how you use our 5G network to limit speed on particular areas that may be close to people with more mobility issues or schools, depending on what's needed. So we're learning, and we are constantly talking to them, and hopefully the learning that we have here in Milton Keynes alongside all the other test beds for mobility scooters will then actually lead to a much better product.
I've been told that we need to get to lunch, so final point really quickly, and direct your answers at Naomi, she's in the front row here. Start down the other. Rajinder, what can England's Economic Heartland, EEH, do to really enable innovation to come through more strongly?
Yeah, I think it's also, sort of facilitating sort of stronger relationships with startups, with technology. Obviously, the STBs their sort of role and profile is increasing. They will be tasked in supporting local authorities in terms of capability and capacity, and I think bodies like STBs can be real sort of vehicles to translate that innovation to local authorities and beyond, really.
Okay, Llewellyn, there's a question. Can EEH help share this learning?
Yes.
What else should they do?
Well, they should put more money into the innovation working group.
That's fair enough. Let's just leave it there. Carl, what do you think?
Well, absolutely. Events like this, fantastic, of course. But I think you know your local authorities best. Some have a greater capacity and interest in innovation than others. Bringing those forward and bringing them to the table, I think, would be really helpful.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, so I just think help scale. So, there's lots of pilots and trials, but actually we need to scale them across the area.
Okay. Emily, can you please fix your Milton Keynes pavements to allow pedestrians and other forms of transport to work effectively? Okay, we'll come back to that. What do you need Naomi to do for you?
So and we talk about this on the board. I think one of the biggest things is our populations don't know borders. So so actually some of these innovations would work even better right across some of our natural council borders, and also sharing that learning across councils so that we can pinch the best ideas and learn from mistakes.
Okay. And you were going to tell us what your greatest mistake was.
Well, my greatest mistake in life would be, that might be a bit of a long story, but I would say that the one that has always struck me, and this is going back a little bit, but is I was a special advisor on science and innovation for a very previous government, and we couldn't commission traffic lights because they had never been used here before. They might have been you, actually. But, and we couldn't actually procure them in the UK because nobody had ever bought them in the UK. So literally they had to go sell them in the US first, and then we could procure them here. And that's always reminded me, actually, this is a bit ridiculous. when you do innovation, you really just need to look to the future, and you need to sometimes procure for innovation. Not predate what the solution might be, but actually say, here is the problem, and allow various organizations to come back and say, actually, here are the different solutions you can choose from, rather than, I'm going to procure a particular type of traffic light because we have 3 different companies that can put in a tender for that.
Llewellyn, just final
Yeah,
point.
well, we did an innovation partnership procurement about 2.5 years. We were the first council to get all the way through one, so it was quite hard, and we got through, and that was in transport. That was to do transport modelling, but it's not easy because we all had to learn how to do it, and it was our 3rd attempt of seeing it. But it exists, and there's a big group in the UK and with the civil servants looking at how you can make better use of that process. And I'd advise it because it is a vision-led procurement, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the panel. Thank you for sharing your thoughts there. Emily, Dan, Llewellyn, Reginda, and Carl. Round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really interesting and challenging issues to tackle there. Right, I'm going to let you go and have lunch for half an hour or so. One point, if you've requested if you've got some kind of dietary request that you've made, do dietary requirement, do let the catering team know because your meal is waiting for you. So if you've got if you've got a dietary requirement, make yourself known to them, and they'll find you a meal. See you back here in about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Thank you very much.